This is your Monday Daily Delivery. I am Michael Rand, back at it for another week. A great show coming up for you today. I will be joined in just a little bit by Vikings wide receiver Justin Jefferson for a fun interview on all things football and a little bit of off-field stuff as well. Later on, after that, I'll be joined by Patrick Reusse, future Gopher football writer, Patrick Reusse, maybe, but current Star Tribune columnist for a tour of that aspiration as well as Gopher basketball and a little bit of Twins talk as well. But first, what did I miss? You missed a snub, you guys. Nothing Minnesota sports fans love more than to complain about how they were wronged. But I think in this case it's a legitimate gripe. Gopher women's hockey team finds out Sunday night they did not make the NCAA tournament. First time since 2007 that they were left out of the field. Kind of seems like they had a case here. I know they lost 8 games, all 8 games to really quality opponents. Head coach Brad Frost saying all of them to the number 1, number 2, or number 3 team in the country. They beat Minnesota Duluth twice, a team that gets into the tournament ahead of them. Providence gets the last at-large bid if you're going through all the how you're supposed to rank these teams, based on kind of an equal level. Gophers are ahead of both Providence and Minnesota Duluth. So some strange circumstances. Brad Frost certainly seemed perplexed in his Sunday night Zoom session. Let's hear a little bit of audio from that session right now.
We're not expecting to see what we saw tonight when those seedings came out. Got a room full of 20 girls and staff that are devastated to hear the news. But we'll be very interested to find out what criteria they use to pick those at-large teams.
8 teams. It's hard, I'm sure. But it seemed like the Gophers had a case to be in it like they almost always are. But they will be home instead of going on the road to play in this tournament. That's a shame. I feel like, in this difficult season, I imagine, not making a tournament hurts even more because you battled through so much adversity just to be able to play. And then when you feel like you've been unfairly left out of the NCAA tournament, well, that's an extra sting on top of everything else.
I'm Nyla Jean Myers, Senior Assistant Sports Editor at the Star Tribune. Thank you for listening to Strip Sports Daily Delivery. This work is made possible by our Star Tribune subscribers. For unlimited access to the articles mentioned in this podcast and our coverage of Minnesota sports from pros to preps, go to startribune.com/subscribe.
I'm excited to be joined today by Justin Jefferson. I can't even call you rookie wide receiver anymore. The season's over, about to become second-year wide receiver. But really excited to have you on the show. Justin, how are you doing today?
Good, man. Just on vacation. Really just taking some time off, but just started working back out again, just getting back to that grind and, just getting that love for football again.
Well, good. Don't lose that. But you deserve some downtime after what you did. You had 1,400 receiving yards as a rookie. That's the most ever by a rookie, which I have to say is a lot for someone who was supposedly just a slot receiver. How do you put into perspective the rookie season you just had?
It was crazy. It just happened perfectly the way I wanted them to. Me just ending up at a perfect situation. I couldn't ask for anything better. It's just crazy how, I just got sent to the perfect situation. And just having a season like that, is definitely more to come. And, it just gave me that confidence that I can go out there and just perform at a high level each week.
It's not often that a draft pick comes in and immediately, I know you weren't thinking about it necessarily as replacing Stefon Diggs, but there's a symmetry with the draft pick, with him leaving, you coming in. Did you feel an additional pressure because of that aspect of your arrival in Minnesota and his departure?
At all. I'm a competitor. I don't run from competition. I don't run from, the say-sos. I just focused on myself. I didn't really try to focus on being the next Stefon Diggs. I just wanted to be the better version of me, the best version of me. So going in, I just was confident in the game. Just trying to get connected with Kirk. And each week our connection got better and better. And, I mean, the stats says otherwise.
I think it's great. Nice, like kind of shows your generosity that you are letting Justin Herbert keep your Rookie of the Year award at his house. But don't you think you should go pick it up and bring it to your place at some point?
I mean, he had a phenomenal season. Of course, I would love to have that award, to win that award. You know, that's every rookie's main goal at the end of the season. But I mean, it is what it is. I got all pro, and I got a Pro Bowl selection that he didn't get. So I'm pretty fine with not getting it. It's all good. There's plenty of other awards that I'm going to be out there, competing for.
Receiver, is dependent on a quarterback always to get you the ball. How do you walk the line between like letting a quarterback know you're open and then coming off as someone who's whining to get the ball all the time? How do you find that nice balance between, hey, I'm open, but don't say it too much?
Yeah, it's it's hard, especially in today's world. Where if you ask for the ball, you're drama queen, you're all of these things. But if you're sit there being quiet, not saying anything, you're not going to get the ball anyway. So all of that is outside noise. We know what our communication is, inside the locker room. But nobody is going to understand us like we're going to understand each other. So all of the outside noise is irrelevant.
Now, you can disagree or agree with this. I'd say you guys had a good offense last year, 2020. What needs to happen for you guys as a group, and even you individually, to take another step in 2021 to become great, or to have me describe you as great or elite, whatever word you want to call it, in 2021?
I do feel like we are a great offense. We have the potential to be one of the best offenses in the league. And just off of the stuff that we did last year, we were top 3, top 4, something like that, in offense. So we have the guys to do it. We have guys on the team that can make some plays and have the ability to make somebody miss in space. So we just need to find those missing pieces. We need to find that extra level to really put this team in that conversation of the Super Bowl. So a lot of guys are definitely counting us out and not having us in that conversation. So that should be our motivation going into next season.
Do you have to add to your game now as you start to see probably teams will start defending you a little bit differently?
You always got to add to your game. Always, no matter who you are, no matter how good you do the past season, you're always putting your moves on film. Each week, you try to think of new moves to beat the defender because somebody's always watching. Cornerback is always going to be watching your tape. Of all of the different moves that you make, all of the tendencies that you have. So, you're always going out there searching for new ways to get open, new ways to make you different. So I've definitely been looking at different guys that I like personally to get a little bit more, wiggle to my routes and to see new moves that I can add into my swag.
Add into the moves. That sounds good. A few more things for you, then we'll let you get back to a vacation. What's one thing about you that you think would surprise people if they knew it? Like something that maybe people don't know about you off the field even.
I don't know. Because I feel like I show my personality a lot, especially on the field and, in the locker room and everything. So I don't know.
What's your favorite TV show?
Snowfall.
Snowfall?
If you haven't watched it, you need to watch it. The season 4 just came out like 2 weeks ago. So
first of all, let's back up. What is it?
It's about a young black man and a young black boy actually in LA. And he figures out that like back then it was like 1980s or something. in the 1980s, the government was pretty much putting drugs into the street and everything. And he was a smart student. He was going to go to college and everything, but he felt that the rules were like they always had specific rules for Black children back then. So no matter if he went to school or if he, stayed in the projects, he was still going to end up back in the projects. So he felt that the need to quit school, not go to school, and he started selling like drugs and stuff. And it's a great show. Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out on your recommendation. I'm gonna check that out because it does sound interesting to me. That's cool. That's something I did not know about you. So we'll count that as something I didn't know about you. What couple things? Who's the funniest Vikings teammate that you have? I know you probably didn't get to know these guys as well as you might in a typical year, but who would you say is the funniest teammate you have?
There's some funny guys in the locker room. Chris Boyd is definitely one of the funniest. He's a character, him. Smith, I spend a lot of time with him. He from Louisiana, just like me. So we spend a lot of time together. We connect well together. And I mean, I guess we can kind of relate to each other, being from the same area and then being drafted to, a wholly different environment. So we definitely really, got connected well. Delvin, he always cracks me up. Just him being from Florida. All guys from Florida, have that accent, that slang. So he always have me joked out the way, he talk and the way he acts.
Let's forward, like, say 15 years from now. I don't want to actually do that. I want to see your career play out, but what things have happened in that span of time for you to consider this a successful career?
I mean, at the end of my career, standing up on that stage, having that yellow jacket, that gold jacket, I should say, that gold jacket, and saying my speech, saying my story to the world. I feel like that would be, the highlight of my career. That would be the not everyone gets that opportunity and gets to live that moment. So, at the end of my career, definitely would like to experience that.
Justin, appreciate the time so much today. Great stuff. Enjoyed watching you this year. Enjoyed, just getting to know you a little bit right now. And best of luck this off season in 2021 and beyond.
We appreciate it. Same to you.
Really enjoyed talking to Justin. I'm going to check out Snowfall. I wasn't just saying that to him. I really am going to go check it out. Re-upping with Justin and giving him a review of that once I've gotten a chance to check it out a little bit more. Continuing a Monday tradition, I've got Patrick Reusse with me here on Daily Delivery. Patrick has been down in Florida, where he is not only watching a lot of Twins baseball, but he is actively campaigning for the vacated Gopher football beat writer position that was left open when Megan Ryan went and took the Twins baseball beat writing job. Patrick, good morning. How you doing?
Yeah, Michael, it's been my dream since I was a 9-year-old kid kneeling in the end zone in 1954 when the Gophers played Iowa against the overflow crowd. Somehow my father got us down in the end zone in the closed end of the stadium. And Bob McNamara made his famous punt return. There were 65,000 people at Memorial Stadium. And Earl Smith from the University of Iowa ran back a kickoff for a touchdown that would have won the game for Iowa, and they called it back for clipping. And this young, naive Catholic boy from Fulda, Minnesota is kneeling in the end zone, and Earl uses the mother of all curse words right standing above me. And I've ever since then, I've wanted to cover the Gophers, and I think this is pretty much the last chance, don't you think?
It might be. And I don't know how many more times this beat is going to open up. So you've been campaigning, campaigning on Twitter, saying, "Boy, this could be my shot." Can you again?
We captured some. We got some momentum going early in the week, but I don't. It kind of lost some momentum over the weekend. There's no doubt about it.
That's why we got to bring it back, because I love this idea. You you have not had the smoothest of relationships with the current head coach, PJ Fleck. How do you think it would go if you were to actually cover this team? Which is this is more of we call this a bit in the industry, by the way. But if you were to actually cover this team, how would that go?
Well, you know what? That's an interesting question. What would do? I mean, is it possible to ask questions and get answers? I don't know. That's what would be. That would be. I would really not like to do it in the Zoom era,
right?
Because you have to be face to face with PJ to get the full appreciation for him, right? And
right.
I guess you would say, now, Coach, when you say it's all on you, then why are you telling me all this other stuff about how it's not on you? I mean, it's either on you or it's not on you, Coach. Right. Which is it? But I will say I do think he's calmed down a little from the hard sell when he first started off, don't you think?
I think he's settling.
Still there. It's still there, but it's a little
settling
more
into
reality.
it. You've built the program a little bit. They were 11-2 a couple of years ago, so that probably buys you a little bit of a buy-in that you don't have to shout for. But I got to admit, I'd pitch in a few bucks if it meant getting you onto that beat, Patrick. I'm not.
Well,
I'm not gonna
lie. There's nothing more fun than to stir up the Gopher fans on Twitter. I was hoping this might stir them up a little more, but it didn't quite work. I would say this is the you know what this campaign of mine reminds me of? Kevin Garnett trying to buy the Timberwolves because I suppose if I really want to get the job, I'm going to have to apply, right?
He seems to have missed that crucial step in buying the team and actually trying to buy the team.
Yes, at this point, I'm kind of like Kevin. It's a Twitter campaign, but it would be an interesting experience. That would be for sure. I will say, but a lot of people say, you said he's just another Brewster. No, I think he can coach a little bit. I think he knows what he's doing. Yeah. But it would be it is funny how I've become the anti-Gopher guy in their opinion. When I was a kid, man, that was all that mattered in life in Minnesota sports, basically. The state basketball tournament and the Gophers and going to the 2 Rose Bowls and Murray telling us that's what I would do, Mike. I would ask PJ every week on Friday if the hay was in the barn.
That'd be your one question every week.
With Murray, the hay was always in the barn. About Thursday afternoon, you'd read in the paper that the hay was in the barn. So you could say, Coach, is the hay in the barn? That would be pretty good. That could become a tradition. The hay in the barn, something like that. But it's a little fun. Let's face it, Mike. I think Twitter has been the greatest contribution to sports writing in many, many years, because it allows you to get some interchange with people, and it allows you to kind of think of what people are thinking, and you get some funny. There's a lot of goofy responses and there's a lot of hate on Twitter, but there's some funny people out there on Twitter too, and this led to some pretty good retorts. One of which was, Reusse is not the man we want on the Gopher football beat. Reusse is the man we need on the Gopher football beat. Stuff like that. I enjoy. You get when people pick up on what's going on Twitter, it's kind of fun. Then that's 100%. Sure. So,
I love Twitter. Twitter's great. It's maybe not the favorite venue right now of a different Gopher coach, Richard Pitino.
No.
Patrick, seven losses to end the Big Ten regular season. They get to play Northwestern again, vaunted Northwestern, who you pointed out to me before we started. They have fallen below Northwestern in the standings now. The 13 versus 12 game, I believe, in the Big Ten tournament on Wednesday. Where is your head at with that program now? After we've talked, they've lost a couple more now.
It's just amazing, and I know Kelcher was a good defender, and Leon Robbins. They don't have any presence inside, but you know what astounds me, Mike? Rutgers comes to town. They shoot 31%, and the Gophers shoot 31%. Cargo's 1 for 13, and they still go to overtime.
Yeah,
Rutgers must stink. They're going to go to the tournament, and Rutgers must stink too. But I think to a degree, the Big Ten is overrated. Not at the top, but later on. But I don't know. It just I am no longer shocked at what happened to them. I am shocked at how they defeated the 2nd, the 5th, and the 7th place rated teams in the country. That's what's amazing.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That they beat Iowa, they beat Ohio State, and they beat Michigan, and they beat them bad. And, they handled all three of them. Well, Iowa was, I guess, 102 to 95 or something like that. But right. It's amazing. And he's obviously, it's over. And, I don't know where we're going here. Porter Moser, somebody told me the other day, is the hot rumor within the coaching circles. He doesn't have a Minnesota connection, but he's done well at Loyola. I think part of the decision here is going to be money.
Yeah.
San Diego's talking Brian Dutcher too, and he's not making, coming here, and Brian's not making a lot of money out there. I mean, $2 million a year is plenty for Brian Dutcher. It's plenty for Moser. So, and you can't hire a coach for less than $2 million. And I don't think that he has any trouble coming up with the 1.7 buyout either. They can get 3 or 4. Now they don't have the basketball boosters they used to have, but they can get 3 or 4 guys to come up with that money, I'm sure.
Give me your 1-minute tour of Florida so far. What have you seen from our baseball players?
Somebody had a good suggestion here that they got a new betting line on spring training games in Vegas. How many innings are they going to play? Over and under.
Seriously.
The other Saturday, we were scheduled for 5 all of a sudden out of nowhere, and they played 2 and they got a rain out. Now, yesterday they played 8 or 7.5. 7.5, which was quite a dramatic thing. I don't know. It's really hard to tell. Reusse, I just saw him for 2 innings the other day. He was great.
Okay.
And my 8 is outstanding. I mean, this idea they don't have a number 1 starter. They might not have a number 1 starter, but they got 2 2s.
Right.
And that's better than most people. Maeda is really good. Barrios is it's there. It's there. And I think that he just had a maturity. He's got a maturity about him that just, who knows, it might get to be August and he goes in the tank again. Who knows? But I think the starting pitching, they got those 2 guys, and then you can piece it together after them. I think their starting pitcher, they were like 3rd or 4th in the league in our ERA last year. We don't realize that pitching was sort of they were a pitching team last year.
I think they were 4th in the majors in ERA, maybe.
Yeah. 2 years ago, they were, they just beat you because they bludgeoned everybody. But the pitching was their strength last year. They're kind of piecing together a new bullpen, but what they need in the bullpen is a big comeback from Rogers. I'm really worried about the first baseman, though. Yeah. I just wonder if he'll ever get his bat speed, if he'll ever be able to get to the bat to the ball. He's a 285-pound man, 280 probably right now, I'd say. He looks 280. There's never been Frank Howard was a 280-pound hitter, but he was 6'7",
right?
This 6'8". He was not like this. He was not this massive muscle-bound guy. And it seems to me players, because of velocity, because of the fact you're facing 3 different pitchers every game, if you get 4 at bats, you're probably going to be facing 3 different guys. it seems to me these guys are done earlier. If once it goes earlier than it did. And I don't say it's all steroids and stuff like that. I think it's a different pitching approach. And this guy, certainly steroids is not his problem.
No,
it's just, but I'm wondering if Sano is ever going to get the bat to the ball again. It's the other day I wrote about how he doesn't hit the fastball.
Saw that, yeah.
And now I've seen he can't hit the changeup either.
Running out of pitches. Running out of pitches.
Now I think they got him. I think they got him. They're trying to gear him up, to get to the fastball. So these guys are. The other day, somebody threw him 3 straight changeups, and he didn't offer it the first 2 and missed the next one. And I don't know. He can still hit a bad breaking ball 700 feet, but that's there aren't enough of those to carry you. That he worries me. The other thing, you got you really like the left side of the infield, Robinson and Simmons. But what are they going to play? It's they're already talking about giving Robinson a lot of days off early in the season. Donaldson. What am I talking about? Donaldson.
You're making him Brooks Robinson over there, Dan.
Yeah, right. Well, he is compared to what was playing third base. He's really good. It would be great if they could get 130 games out of him and 140 out of Simmons, but Simmons has had a bad ankle 2 years in a row. And I don't know. I'm not worried. Everybody worries about Buxton's injuries. I don't dive as much and, don't break a hand sliding into a base. And I think, to me, he's not as much about an injury concern to me as the other guys. He probably should be because he gets hurt every year. But they need him too. They're 20% better as a team when he plays because he improves. The fielding goes from a minus to a plus. He's the only guy they got that can run with speed, and he makes the pitching better. He just makes more plays than any other center fielder since Willie Mays, for God's sake. So a lot of it depends on him if he can play or not. And but I think I was not terribly optimistic coming down here, but if they piece the bullpen back together, they should be pretty good.
Patrick, love chatting with you on these Mondays.
Right.
It's becoming a tradition. Enjoy the rest of your time down in Florida, although it's Florida-like weather up here, Patrick. You're missing it. Yeah.
That's great. Hey, the Ricey Fleck podcast would do pretty good on Star Tribune.
Let's do it. Let's get it started. Patrick,
all right.
Thanks a lot.
Hey, the original PJ and the imposter PJ. I'm the original PJ. I got seniority on him, Patrick James.
Let's do it. We'll put it together. We'll get both of you on a show together sometime at least, and then we'll see how the sparks fly.
Okay.
Thanks, Patrick.
Goodbye.
Let's end things with the cooler. Minnesota Wild back tonight against Vegas. First of 2 games against them back at XL Energy Center for the first time in quite a while. They've only had like 8 home games this season, which is maybe part of the reason this has felt like such a grind for them. But still, I'm watching this game tonight in particular. Vegas is where things kind of all fell apart for them last week with the Zach Parise staying out in the ice too long, losing that game. They lose some momentum. They lose the next night's game. They come back Friday night. They have a really nice performance against Arizona. I'm thinking, okay, things have kind of turned themselves back around. Well, the night after that, have a really good first period, then they just completely run out of steam. So are they out of steam? Do they need this kind of recharge, get home? Can they put together 2 good games against Vegas and kind of get this momentum going again? Or are we at a kind of a stall point in this season? I'll be watching that tonight when they play one of the best teams in their division for sure, and maybe in all of hockey, real Stanley Cup contender. If you want to be good, if you want to be a contender this season, these are 2 games you need to show up for, and it starts Monday night against Vegas. That'll do it for today. Some great shows lined up the rest of the week. I'm expecting to talk to Jerry Zagoda, who covers Minnesota United on Tuesday's show. I think we'll be doing a lot of Wild and Wolves later on this week as well, as those teams play some prominent games and the Wolves return to action on Thursday. So Good stuff coming up this week. Thanks for listening to the Daily Delivery Podcast. Read Star Tribune, StarTribune.com. Download and subscribe to this podcast. Write a review. I dare you. I bet you can do it. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.